And were you interested in show business when you were a kid? Did you know I got show business in my blood?
I don't know. I was a really quiet kid up until I went to until I discovered community theater. I was kind of like
Really?
shy. Yeah, like as a younger child, I was like kind of quiet and shy. And
if I had talked to you when
weird.
you were like 8, would you have? And I wouldn't have been allowed to talk to you when you were 8, but would you have said, "Yeah, I'm interested in doing anything involving performing for people," or would that have been the furthest thing from your mind?
I probably would have been like, "Come with me in the woods. I found a skull, and I know it's of a baby." I was into things like make believe.
That's great. I found a skull.
I'd be like, "Follow me into the woods."
Are you sure that was make believe? Did you find a skull? Maybe you want to tell us about it.
We have to build a fort and do a ritual because I know it's a baby's skull. I like to play in the woods as an 8-year-old.
Come with me to the woods. Wow, you'd be a terrible camp counselor. Well, kids, here's your new camp counselor for the day of the new CIT. Aubrey is going to come with me all to the woods. I found the skull of a baby. There must be a ritual. That'd be fantastic.
I was a very delusional child, but I never thought like, oh, I could actually do that, but I was definitely obsessed with movies. And when I saw For the Boys, starring Bette Midler, you know that movie where she goes on the...
Is James Conan in that too?
Yeah.
Isn't it like a USO tour or something?
Yes, and I saw the way too young. I saw like weird movies at too young of an age.
That's not a movie for, I mean, not that it's a racy movie, but it's just not a movie for kids.
Like a 9-year-old, I was like, now that's art.
James Caan, Bette Midler, USO shows.
I swear to God.
That's a movie.
Also, you know what had a really big impact on me is designing women.
Oh.
So I discovered that show in the basement of my foster grandparents' house, and I was not allowed to watch that show as a young child.
Really?
Oh yeah, I learned a lot from that show.
How to design
Julia
stuff.
Sugarbaker, Delta Burke, Annie Potts.
I don't remember. What would you have learned from that show except
sex stuff?
Oh, they did a lot of. I didn't know that was a sexy show.
Are you kidding? All they did was date and talk about having sex, and then I don't know.
But probably with real sly innuendo that wasn't that harsh.
Well, they were just like real sassy Southern women, so it was always.
Once again,
Parks and Rec, we worked a lot on that show.
You did well. You did,
but that was very focused on the tasks that we were doing, the comedy. Not to make it about me. This isn't about me.
No, it's just a podcast starring you today.
Okay.
So it is about you. You were an NBC page.
That's right. You weren't, right?
I was not an NBC page, no.
But Regis Philbin?
That's his name now.
Philbin.
Sorry, Philbin.
Regis a name that will live in history. Regis Philbinin. Regis Philbin was an NBC page, I believe. But you were an NBC page. I think when I was doing late night, you were an NBC page.
Yeah, you were. You were, and you know what? Because the way I got my SAG card, I don't know if you know the story, but the way I got my SAG card is because I think I either was a page or I had just like left the program, but I kept my uniform, which you're not supposed to do. And I convinced the guy that shot the pilot for 30 Rock, he directed a lot of the 30 Rock episodes.
Yeah.
They needed a page to do a tour of your studio because they were shooting on the floor of your studio or something, and I knew the speech about your studio. I was like, and welcome to the thing of Conan O'Brien, and I would make up stuff, but I don't remember what I said, but because I knew the spiel, I was like, just let me do it. I was like, I can do it, and then he threw me in on camera, and I did it, and because I had a line, the SAG union rules,
they had to give you a card.
Got right into that union.
This fascinates me because there were pages that worked at 30 Rock, obviously in real life, and they would do tours of my studio, and I remember accidentally listening once to one of the tours, and everything they were saying was not true.
Yeah.
And this one page that I was listening to, this is not you, was saying that the stars in the back, painted on the wall, are there because Conan has long been a huge fan of astronomy. And I was like brushing my teeth in the hall, and I heard this, and I went, what are they talking about? No, it's late night. Stars late at night. That's all it is.
But there was a game that the pages, and this is like whatever. I don't know if they still do this, but there was a game that all the pages would play where you would go, okay, I'm going to give you 3 words for your next tour, and you have to incorporate these words into your speech at some point, and it has to be believable. And the words were always insane. I mean, maybe it was like, it was like penguin or whatever, and then you'd be like, and this studio is cold because 10 years ago they had penguins on the show.